Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel, Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. So continuing our topic, class 4 for data management. Here we have that when we collect the data, after collecting the data and verification of the data, it need to be compiled. Right? We need to compile it. We need to put it somewhere so that we can analyze it, or we can display it, or we can do whatever we need to do, review it, right? Or we need to see the trend, or we need to answer some questions. We need to interpolate or extrapolate. So we need to make the inferences, right? So we have to do whatever we need to do with the data, but after collecting the data and verification, we need to compile it. There are several ways of compiling the data. So we will have some name here, and you will see in this exercise also that we will display the data in some of the form and then asking questions, right? So there are few ways. The one of the most popular way is indicator visualization, right? We have some indicator, right? Average score, average admission cost, total revenue generated. So we make the indicators, and this is called visual indicators, right? So we can see whenever there is a long list of numerical data, we need to make it to compile so that we can easily see. Instead of seeing all those numbers, we make a column chart. We make a chart, right? So we can display that data in the chart. Sometimes they are called chart or graph or table, whatever you can use, but I use the word mostly chart. But you can see that line chart is sometimes says line graph, right? Line graph is the best way to show the data, and it is easily understandable, and we can review the data. We can see the trend, how the variation can be read, or how the inferences can be read on the line chart. It's like a graph, right? Bar chart sometimes, yeah, again I put bar chart, but it is also bar graph. It's the same thing. And at number 9, I have to compare what is bar graph and histogram, right? So we will see that what is difference between bar graph and histogram. Then there is a pie chart. Pie chart is like a circular thing in a circle, and we distribute proportionality of the data, right? So in 360-degree, how much percent of each share is. So that is the easiest way to indicate some proportional things in the data, right? And we can see, and we can visualize that, oh, 60% is this, 40% is this, 30% is of this. So we can immediately have our numbers rather than to look into the long tables or long list, right, of the data. So then there are some of the area chart, right? In area chart, we shed the area, right? Scattered chart, scattered plot, yeah, chart, we can say chart or plot. Scattered plot is the different points of the data shown on the graph paper, and then we draw a line of best fit so that we know that how many values are above the best fit value and below the best fit value, what is our best average of those values, right? So we can discuss on those scattered plot. Pivot table, this again, it's kind of table. So the easiest method is the table, right? Table has got like a horizontal description and a vertical description, and then we have different numbers of the data in it, right? Tree map is also a kind of a mapping table where we can read the table, right? And then what is difference between histogram and bar graph? So there's a little difference, right? So when we say that histogram, if we see the gaps between the bar, both are shown by the bar like this. So if we see there is no gap between the bars, right? There is no gap. If there is no gap, and the bars are adjacent to each other. They are adjacent to each other, right? Our bars are adjacent to each other. No gaps at all. So if no gaps, that means it is histogram. It's called histogram. Histogram has got no gaps in the bars. So histogram, right? So you have to remember that if there is no gap in the bars, that is histogram. If there is a gap, so gaps between the bar is the bar graph, right? Is a bar graph. So if there is, you can see this example also. This is a comparison of the two things or two commodities or two observations, but there is a gap between the bars, right? So this is a bar graph. It's not a histogram. Histogram always has got no gap between their bars, right? So this is bar graph. Similarly, if we say bar chart, column chart, so we have to draw these lines like horizontally, right? Like this. So this is not a bar graph. This is column chart or bar chart. We can say it's a bar chart. There are bar, but they are not histogram or bar graph. So little bit differentiation in those type of the columns and tables, and then we need to focus on some of them in this chapter, right? It's just the beginning of the data management, so we will see here that what the question is. Check the sentences that describes the graph. Check the sentences. So here are few sentences and the data has been collected and shown in the bar graph. Number of the people skiing in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And this color is like brown color is females and the males are red. So we can see the number in front of each, right? In the morning, people, male are like 325 or 50, and then these are 250. So it's just a rough graph to indicate you guys that how the bar graph looks like and how the data is being compiled for this comparison, right? That how many people are skiing, males and females separately in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening. And then there are three statements describing this graph, and we have to check that which is correct and which is not correct. Check the sentences that describes the graph. So we have to check out those. Now A, more people skied in the morning, in the evening. So more people skiing in the morning is wrong statement. So somebody who has taken this, we will cross it out. It's not right inference from this graph because more people are not skiing in the evening. Yeah, in the evening is here, right? So not more are in the afternoon. So this is cross out. B, the greatest number of people skied in the afternoon. Yeah, that is correct. That because the highest number of the people or greatest number of the people is skiing in the afternoon. So this is correct. So make a check mark. And then third statement is there are more male skiers total, right? We can see that in the morning, afternoon, and evening in all three shifts, there are more male skiers, right? So we also check out this. This is also right statement, right? And then question is saying that make two inferences regarding this graph. So we have to look into it and we can make some more statement which are which should be correct, right? So how we can make a statement about reading this graph, right? So you can say that what you can say, the most female skiers are in the afternoon. Most female skiers are in afternoon shift, right? So this is an inference which we take from the model or from the data graph. Or what we can say, there are least number of female skiers in the evening. So least number of female skiers in the evening. So you can make your own sentences, or you can make your own inferences. That depends how you read the graph and how correctly you make the sentence. But it's just the practice to see how the graph look like, how they are comparing the data in the same graph. So we don't go into the long numerical list and statement. We just show the data the way here we have listed. So one of them is the bar graph, and this is bar graph between the number of the people skewing in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So we can make inferences, we can review the data, we can see the trends, and we can see that how that can be utilized for making inferences, right? So this is all about data management, class 4. We will do some more example in class 5 for data management. Hope you like the video. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel, Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. Share it with your friends and family friends. Like it, share it, subscribe it. Thank you for watching.